Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Soul. Today, I wanted to do another TV review because I recently just finished the first season of Danny Phantom, and by recently, I mean I literally just finished it like a couple minutes ago. And I don't know why, I've just been so enamored with capturing some of my old cartoon shows that I watched as a kid. And I know that's just like I think that's a natural thing to do. And I did that a lot with anime. Like, I went back and watched Dragon Ball. I'm currently watching Yu-Gi-Oh! I plan on watching Pokemon and all that shit. But it's like the cartoon shows, and then after that, like the Disney Channel live action shows. That's my like hierarchy. And the Disney Channel shows I have no intention of watching. But the cartoons, like I remember when I went back and watched Shaolin Showdown, I watched the first season. I just kind of fell out with that one, unfortunately. Somewhere in the second season, which was unfortunate. But Danny Phantom was a recent one where I was like, no, I'm just going to watch it. And so far, I burned through the first season finally. I really got into that muck again. Like, I got like halfway through the first season, and I was like, what? It's like when I don't know what episode I'm on, and I'm just kind of like, like, I was like, oh, I think I fell asleep on this one, and then this one I'm like kind of through. It's like, oh, once I'm at that stage, the desire's gone. I have to figure out where I'm supposed to watch things. But this show, for anyone who doesn't know, is about a teenage 14-year-old dude who basically his parents are ghost hunters, and ghosts in this universe are more like monsters. They have the basic ghost powers that you would assume a ghost would have, like flying and being transparent and going through walls. All that's normal, but they can fly, or I was gonna say they can take over people's bodies. All that's normal, but they're also kind of like monsters. Like, they invade and just wreak havoc. Some of them, it seems, for little to no reason, but most of them are like full-fledged characters who are like intent on doing malicious or mischievous things. And then we got our hero, Danny Phantom, who after a strange freak accident turns into half ghost. So he has all the powers of a ghost, and he can go into the ghost world. It's called the ghost dimension. He can come back, which is funny because his parents are ghost hunters. They're like fucking Ghostbusters. And he's, just able to turn from ghost to human at will. And he also has a sister and two best friends who are Tucker and Sam. Tucker is a kind of tech-savvy nerd who's, kind of like, I don't know how to describe his personality. He's like the charming, quick-witted, like, hey, I got you back, though, kind of guy. And then there's Sam, who's like the gothic. She's gothic but doesn't act goth. Like, she has a goth aesthetic but is really just kind of like your typical like lady friend character who's potential romance. She's there for him, but she also is kind of like your Cinderella, like, I'm gonna tell you when you're fucking up kind of thing. It's an interesting dynamic. I feel like with a lot of cartoons, it feels like I'm watching like a pilot episode for like 3 seasons. It's still like none of these characters were able to take off yet. There were some moments in this season where like Danny and his mom had a really good episode. Little things like that I liked. I liked this one episode. Which one was it? I'm looking at the episode list. Whichever one where they're basically they're playing Ready Player One basically, and they're trying to get these keys where they're in the virtual world. There's a lot of like episodic stuff in this one. There's one with this rock star girl that was really cool. I like that one. There's this one meme that me and my brother had about this one episode where they're going to this concert. And it's like a Humpty Dumpty concert, and one of the guys who's like the jock, he's like your boy jock character. He's terrible. But he was like, Humpty Dumpty rules, blah, na 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 na. Me and my brother parodied that line for so long. I don't know why. I don't know why. At all. But yeah, there's also, there's ghosts taking over the school, just kind of doing these things that, don't really always make sense. There's, one that's, a hunter, he hunts other ghosts. And there's also this big arc with, this guy named Vlad, who is, basically, if Danny's dad was the main character of... If Danny's dad was Walter White, this would be the other guy who made all the money, but he's an asshole, evil guy. But then Walter White stole his girlfriend. That's basically the relationship there. Gray matter just broken up over a woman. And then there's also this one other character who's basically a human ghost hunter. She's human, but she hunts ghosts. I don't want to reveal who her character is, but she's one of the other characters who's in the school. And on top of that, there is Danny, who is dealing with basically trying to just be a normal kid, and his ghost self is usually on the run. Ghosts are just kind of accepted by the end of the season. It's people see them out in the open multiple times in this. It's not super weird when Danny's parents say they're ghost hunters. And the police officers literally know Danny's they have a name for him. It's Inviso Bill. You don't get to choose your superhero / supervillain name. But basically he's the Dark Knight Batman, where it's you're in the scene of the crime, you're the bad guy. You're the face of evil. Basically, so that is the synopsis of Danny Phantom. And this show really is a fun little cartoon show. I haven't sat down and watched that many cartoon shows, so it was kind of just a little bit oh, episodic formats again. And then I was oh, character arcs being completed and resolved in one episode. Stuff like that I don't really care too much for, but I like the charm of these shows. And the humor is obviously very lowbrow. Again, when I said it doesn't feel like they're getting past a pilot, that's kind of because it just feels like we're doing a routine, and it doesn't feel like we're branching out. Maybe I watch too much goddamn anime, but I know that later on we're gonna get into some really actually cool stuff, and I'm excited for that. I also know there's an internet short with the Fairly Odd Parents. That is what I'm seeing on Wikipedia. I really want to watch all these fucking these cartoons from my childhood, and I feel like in a couple years maybe I'll finally have watched them all, but we'll see. For now, in the coming up seasons, I know we'll have more intricate stuff going on. Danny will get some new powers, and he'll finally get that fucking D on his chest. Right now, his character design, I can really feel that, it doesn't have that big-ass D on his chest. It's such a basic design, but I like it. I like white-haired characters for whatever reason. That was, my thing growing up, just characters with white hair. Maybe that's why I really gravitated towards him, but for whatever reason, I just can't look at him without that D on his chest. I'm like, you're incomplete. And I know that there's actually a really cool episode that like lets them go back in time for that's how he gets the D on his chest. I don't know. It's been a while. And I know I never finished this show. Like, I don't know how it ends. Which is how a lot of these cartoons are. So that's another big reason why I want to watch them. Like, I'm not stricken to the epic, like, episode by episode rerun hell anymore. And usually TV channels they don't want you to just stumble on the series finale. Like, they don't put that on reruns. So, yeah, that's something I would prefer not to get into. Okay, that's what I thought of the first season. I'd give it like a B- or something. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. And I'm gonna go get some sleep. Thank you guys for watching as always. I'll see you next time. And until then, as always, take care. And with that, I leave you.